Hello, 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 dear Full Life Television subscribers and Full Life Television viewers who just happened upon this video. Welcome back to Full Life Television. And for your first timers, welcome to Full Life Television here on YouTube. This is DJ Darkness bringing you my review of Kumoricon 2023. Now, before we get into the fun of reviewing my Kumoricon weekend, here's a quick overview of what Kumoricon is. Kumoricon is a yearly anime convention featuring 3 days of anime, Japanese culture, cosplay, photo shoots, and a whole host of other things, including an exhibitor's hall for those of you who just want to blow all of your money in one place on lots of cool merchandise. Kumoricon happens yearly, and pretty much since 2017, if I'm recalling accurately, it's happened every November since that year, with the obvious exception being 2020 when it still happened in November, but we did it virtually. It also takes place in Portland, Oregon at the Oregon Convention Center. And then last year, it expanded to hosting some of its events in the Hyatt Regency Portland at the Oregon Convention Center, which is the main hotel for people that want to stay close to the convention center. Now with all the preliminary info about Kumoricon out of the way, it's time to enter the review zone. Let's review Kumoricon 2023! On Thursday, before the convention started, I went to the convention center and got my VIP package, including badge, and VIP registration was super easy, and everyone I talked to there was very friendly. And some of the things I got in my VIP package was a new Ghost Neko buddy named Fire Neko. He's red hot and super cute. And then my VIP package included things like a t-shirt, a cross-body bag, a set of dice for playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, and everything that I mentioned and more came in this really cool backpack. So, shoutouts to the people in registration. Day 1 festivities started out with opening ceremonies, and for that day, through check-in at my hotel, I was dressed up as Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, and I was traveling with my +3 partner in demon slaying, Nezuko Kamado. Our first stop was opening ceremonies, and that was a lot of fun, especially because the Council General for Japan came from their Portland office to Kumoricon, and they totally dressed the part, because they were dressed up as a Hashira from Demon Slayer. This Hashira's name was Giyu Tomioka, and I later saw them in the exhibitors hall.
Oh, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen season 1.
And I thanked them for not killing my sister when they had the opportunity to do so. And then, speaking of the dealer's hall, I did go to the dealer's hall, but first I had to get lunch and pick up a souvenir cup so that all of my future beverage refills when I utilize the cup would be very cheap. How cheap, you may ask? You can't get any cheaper than Zip Zero Nada. And beverage refills with the souvenir cup were unlimited, which made me very happy. After lunch, walking to the exhibitors hall, which was a bit crowded and a bit of a nightmare for someone with disabilities using a walker, I still managed, but I will say, layout-wise and people wanting to shop at all the booths, it did make it a little difficult to walk through there. But now, you're probably interested in panels, and the first panel I attended was 1 p.m. Friday with one of the musical guests of honor, who, while they didn't perform at Kumoricon itself, they performed at an after party that occurred on Sunday night. And the musical guest of honor I speak of is a band by the name of Acme. And you may recognize Acme if you've seen their videos on YouTube, or you may recognize that name from the Looney Tunes franchise. But they had a Q&A panel, and I attended about the 45 minutes of the hour-long panel because after that, I had another panel I wanted to get to. And this one was Iron Mouse Unleashed, the making of with Tonari Animation. And Tonari Animation is an animation studio that works with VTubers on various projects. And the specific subject of this panel was Iron Mouse's lore video, where she wanted it to be anime themed and throw in lots of special call-outs to various animes and other VTubers. And I didn't stay for the entire panel, but I did enjoy my time there, and I loved seeing the Iron Mouse Unleashed video one more time. It was really cool. And one special call out I loved was the fact that in the Iron Mouse Unleashed video, they had Mori Calliope's scythe making an appearance. And one special thing I learned is that Cover Corporation was happy to have their VTubers in that video, but they had one condition. The VTubers from Hololive could not be in the same scene as VTubers from VShoujo, which is the company Iron Mouse is a part of. After the Iron Mouse panel, I went to the hotel, had a quick snack, and eventually got checked in because I found out my plan of getting showered and changed over to my evening cosplay wasn't gonna happen. Once I was checked in and had eaten a little snack, my next thing was a quick shower and a quick outfit changeover to DJ Morichi. And once I was done with everything in the hotel, I then went back to Kumoricon in my Morichi Calliope cosplay, my Reaper Drip one, and my first stop was back to the dealer's hall to get some autographs, which I got from Alejandro Saab, who's not only a voice actor, but he also happens to be a VTuber by the name of Sayu. That's CYYU. Then I had a quick dinner, did a little more Kumori Market walking, and after that, it was time for the big event of day one for me. Not that opening ceremonies wasn't a big event. It was time for the concert, and a quick overview, there were 3 performers split into 2 sets. The first performer was Lolia, who's a local performer. She lives in the Portland metro area, and she's an independent artist who also happens to be a regular Kumoricon attendee, because being a Portland native, Kumoricon is her home convention. So it was nice to have an attendee from our area as a guest of honor, and her performance was awesome. Now, the second half of the concert was the other 2 performers who were from out of state, but still within the United States, and they made it to Kumoricon no problems. I, of course, am speaking of Caleb Hiles and Jonathan Young, who are famous for their cover songs from anime and movies and just the general songs. And they did a really rocking set. In fact, the the set was so rocking that Jonathan Young went through multiple guitar picks and then a guitar string, meaning that the concert ended with the final song being sung a cappella, and they picked a great song to end with in the Pokemon theme. And that had me sing along with everyone else. And they both tricked us twice. The first time they tricked us, they rickrolled us. And then the second time they tricked us, they got us with a little All-Star by Smash Mouth. Next up, we have Day 2, which featured some Kumori Market cruising and walking around. So I did attend one panel that day and a dance. Plus I attended a photo shoot. And starting in order, I was in my Morichi Calliope cosplay, but it wasn't the Reaper Drip. It was the full version of Morichi Calliope. And my first and only panel of that day that I went to was VTubers and You, hosted by Sayu, also known as Alejandro Saab, if you only know him from his voice acting. And there were a lot of great questions and lots of great cosplays in there, including a couple other HoloLive cosplayers, including another Mori Calliope, this one being the girl Mori, not another gender bend. And my question that I asked Sayu was who was his favorite VTuber from HoloLive English, and then on the fly we expanded it to include VTubers from HoloLive Indonesia, because the Indonesian VTubers are also pretty fluent in English. And here's the answers he gave me. He said his favorite VTuber from English was none other than Mori Calliope, who happens to be my Oshi, and that answer made me very happy. And then very quickly, the second VTuber, this one being from HoloLive Indonesia, was zombie idol Crazy Ollie. And I just realized I made a brain burp because before I went to the VTubers and You panel, I went to the Dealers Hall and bought 4 keychain charms of VTubers. And the charms were Mori Calliope, a Mori Calliope charm, a Hosho Marine I'm Beep charm, and the third charm was a Kason Good Morning Beep Beep charm. And then the final charm I bought was a Pikami Amano charm. And for reference, Pikami Amano was a past life VTuber who graduated from another company and then joined V Shoujo as a member with Iron Mouse and Kason and other V Shoujo members. But the keychain charm I bought was called Pikami Amano Kettle.mp3 because when Hinya laughs, or in her past life when she was Pikami, when she laughed, her laughter sounded like a tea kettle on boil. So yeah, I got those 4 charms and then did the previously mentioned panel. After that, it was time for Holo Takeover, which was supposed to happen in the Ginkgoberry concourse at the Oregon Convention Center, but it's a concourse meant for walking and not really for photo shoots, so we had to move it down the hall a little ways to Convention Ballrooms D, E, and F, or the area outside those ballrooms. And it was a really great photo shoot because we had 4 out of the 5 members of HoloLive Advent, although technically it was 5 because we had a Moai statue representing the 5th member. We had multiple Mori Calliopes because I was one of them, albeit gender bent, and we had several gurus, plus we had other members from Hololive Japan, including a Hachima cosplayer. And I walked up to them because they arrived late, and they said that they had nearly forgotten about the meetup. And they said that after I said, wow, I'm surprised you're here at the meetup considering you have amnesia. For reference, this cosplayer was cosplaying as the VTuber Hachima, who was on a medical hiatus for about 8 months, and when she returned, she has amnesia. So that's why I made the joke about, wow, I'm surprised you remembered to come to the Holo Takeover meetup. And that's when he said, I very nearly forgot to come. So that was a fun event. And the members of Holo Advent that we did have were the twin demon guard dogs from Hell, Fuwawa Abyss Guard and Mokoko Abyss Guard. And together, they're Fuwa Moko! Then we had Shiori Novella and my Advent Oshi, Narissa Ravencroft. And then after Holo Takeover, it was lunch break and walking around for a little while, checking things out and doing some social media / gaming check-in on my phone before I went back to the hotel to get ready for the Kumori Ball. After I got ready for the Kumori Ball, I was dressed up as a formal version of Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer. And this year, because I had a mobility aid for the first time, I decided to not only take my Nezuko plushie to the Kumori Ball, but I took my Tanjiro plushie as well. And we had a great time at the ball. However, before the ball, I did a little shopping in the Kumori market where I bought my 2 mystery bags. The first mystery bag was a Naruto mystery bag containing 2 Naruto Uzumaki figures, and in the other mystery bag was a Hololive mystery bag which contained 1 item, and that was my Relax Time Yozora Mel figure. And then I had dinner at the Urban Cheese Company, where I had the most fantastic bowl of mac and cheese ever. It was amazing. And then, of course, after that, I did attend the Kumori Ball, and that was the end of my day 2. So on day 3, I was back at the convention in my Reaper Drip Morichi Calliope cosplay to end my Kumoricon weekend. And let me just say, after several years of doing really heavy-duty cosplays, I find it's just a lot easier to do Morichi Calliope as a day 3 cosplay, because that's a very comfortable cosplay to wear. So, my first stop after getting packed up and ready to go, which that was a little adventure in and of itself, and if you want to hear about the adventure of me getting out of my hotel room, feel free to DM the Full Life PDX Instagram page and I'll tell you the whole story. So once that was done, I had my breakfast and then I went to the karaoke room where I sang a theme song that will be introduced very shortly by my co-host. And then after that, it was back over to the Oregon Convention Center for the final time, where I basically did a little shopping, a little gaming, and then attended a couple events. And the gaming I speak of was done on my iPhone, yet again. And when I was in the gaming hall, I was in the right place to be gaming on my phone. But my shopping, because I had spent so much of my mom's money this weekend, long story, I don't want to get into that, but I had to get in contact with her a couple times to obtain purchase approval for a Wild Bill's root beer mug, which I will be taking next year to Kumoricon so that I can get discounts on refills whenever I want some root beer. And the second big ticket purchase I had to obtain approval for from my mom was another Hololive figurine, This one being Hololive Gamer Okami Mio. And I really enjoy having those figurines now, and I do want to unpack them at some point. But before I get too far rambling and off topic, let's finish up with what I did after I did my shopping. So after I did my final shopping in the theaters hall, I had a quick snack break and drink refill of my Kumoricon souvenir cup, the snack break consisting of French fries and Mountain Dew. Before I went back to main events for the final time to watch the AMV contest winners show. AMV standing for Anime Music Videos. And then it was time for closing ceremonies, and I did get slightly emotional during closing ceremonies. Well, actually, the emotional bit came later when I was on my bus going home. But back to closing ceremonies, where I enjoyed the closing ceremonies and learned the dates for Kumoricon 2024 and the attendance figures. So the attendance figures for this year's Kumoricon was about 10,000 attendees, which, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you know that's definitely over 9,000! And making me even more happy was the fact that next year's Kumoricon will be happening November 8th through the 10th. And then after I attended closing ceremonies and learned the attendance figure and the dates for the event, we also got 2 guest announcements during closing ceremonies. Well, technically 3, but the third one will only be if she's able to come. The first guest announcement was our charity food drive winner, which is the voice actress of Orihime Inoue from Bleach. Then the other 2 guests were confirmations. The first guest is voice actor Johnny Youngbosch, and the second guest was a guest that sadly had to cancel their attendance this year because of visa problems. And that guest is Kikuo, who did host a panel at Kumoricon, although due to its visa problems, he hosted it via video call. But he also confirmed that he will for sure be at Kumoricon 2024. After closing ceremonies, I went to the rant and rave, where I shared my thoughts about the convention, and I gave the board of directors mad props for getting Lolia on such short notice, because that was an awesome musical guest of honor substitution for Stereo Dive Foundation, who couldn't attend because of health problems. And my only rant that I mentioned, because I had another rant which was mentioned before mine, was the layout of the exhibitors hall, because it was a confusing L shape, and then I learned that the Oregon Convention Center put a garbage and recycling bin right in the middle of one of the Kumori Market walkways, which made an already tight space even tighter. And I also learned that the Kumoricon Board of Directors has been working diligently to get Hololive VTubers as guests of honor for a future Kumoricon. And speaking of VTubers, I know this review's gone on long enough, and you'd probably like to hear some music, so with that, I now bring you DJ Morichi! And I want to warn you that he probably will greet you by saying, "Hey, deadbeat," and that's not an insult, that's just a phrase he adopted from his sister Mori Calliope. With that being said, get in here, DJ Morichi! Thanks, DJ Darkness, and thanks everyone who's watched the review up to this point. It's me, DJ Morichi, and I gotta say, hello, deadbeats! I'm here to provide you what you music lovers have been waiting for. To wrap up this review of Kumoricon 2023, we have a performance of Fighting Dreamers from the Kumoricon Karaoke Room, performed by DJ Darkness, who was dressed up as yours truly, DJ Morichi. Let's jam, and I hope you enjoyed the slightly scuffed performance.
You're welcome to sing along if you want. But otherwise, here we go. You're fighting gamers, Takame makes us take fighting gamers, Narifu Kamawashi fighting gamers, Ginger Gamamani, yo, let's go my way, right here, right now, bang, so like bang liner, right here, right now, get the fire, right here, right now, so like bang liner, right here, right now, burn. Go away, go side, don't you know? Fighting demons, fighting demons, Narifu Kamawashi fighting demons, Ginger Gamamon, yo, let's go, mate, right here, right now, swing, like liner, right here, right now. Well, there's a sheen of these guys, they got you to broke it out of bottle, what they do. You can see go. Oh, we not say that. Maybe what I can take cookie out of you. Cause I see that to the because I say, oh no, I see you that cake, yeah. Oh, so that's a good oh, no. You're fighting demons, Takame will make us take fighting demons, Narifu Kamawashi fighting demons, Ginger Gamamon, yo, let's go, mine, right here, right now. Right here, right now. Please keep it, get the fire, right here, right now. So like right here, right now. Keep it, get the fire. Woo. First time trying it without the band to back me up, and I think I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. Oh, and this is for all the ruffians, jailbirds, novelties, pebbles, and anyone else who's a Hall Life fan. Especially the jailbirds and the brats. Fighting gamers, Suban Teomaki going fighting gamers. Kooko, Shitakaku, oli. We are fighting gamers. Takame wa mezashi take fighting gamers. Narifu Kamawashi fighting gamers. Shinjuru Gamamon, oli. Just go my way, go my way, go my way. Go here, right now. Like bang the liner, right here, right now. Get the fire, right here, right now. Like bang the liner, right here, right now. Get the fire right here. Oh, bam! DJ Morichi here again, and I hope you enjoyed that performance of Fighting Dreamers.
First of all, I would like to thank Alto Nimbus Entertainment for putting on Kumoricon every year, and all of the staff that work their hardest to make Kumoricon the best event it can be. Secondly, I would like to thank my mom for bankrolling my entire Kumoricon weekend. Without her, this weekend would not have happened. And finally, I would like to thank you, the viewers, for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and share this video. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Full Life Television here on YouTube, and make sure to ring that notification bell. Now, the final thing I want to say as DJ Morichi is something I always say before peacing out, and it's this. I'm your Mori, and I hope you'll remember me. Peace! Thanks, DJ Mori, and peace out, everybody.